Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another video. Since now year 2018 is now starting to come to a close, so here to give my whatever of 2018. So first off, my little memoriam to all the actors that I know of who have passed away this year. Even though of the all well actors that I know well of, only been a very few though, but. There's been some here and there that I know the name, but that I mentioned in the video. So, but I know who they are. But I'll quickly brief them in. But so yeah, quickly my yearly actors memoriam of 2018. So, starting off first off, just scanning through of for January. Um, Actor that I know of that I only seen a couple in two films, January 16th early this year. Bradford Dillman died on the 16th at the age of 87. He's only two films that I know of. He was in the original 1978 Joe Dante's film Piranha. He was the lead. He was the lead. Forget the character's name though, but he was who has a little girl at summer camp, and he was with the female lead, helped to stop the piranha, and he was also in which was in the same year 1978 because Piranha was there, and in the same year 1978 he also starred in The Swarm, Irwin Allen's The Swarm. He was the major that was with Richard Widmark, and sometimes with Michael Caine as well. So, same year, 1978. So he was starring The Swarm and then Piranha. So Bradford Dillman, yeah. So going through now. Nothing much of in January. He's the only actor that I know of in January that passed away. So moving to February. Another actor that I've seen in a couple things. Reggie Cathy. Reggie Cathy. Died February 9th at the age of 59. The most memorable role I know him he was starred in The Mask. He was the doctor. He was the one who was going to rob the bank, and then the mask interrupted the robbery. And then we found later that Peter Green found him in his office injured. We tell him to give him a cigarette, then he just died before he light it up. Yeah, that's the famous line that I know when he was going to rob the bank. He's like, "Not to worry, the doctor is about to operate." Yeah, that's Reggie Cathy. He was in the 2015 Fantastic Four movie, which that everybody hates. He was the father of Johnny Storm and Susan as well. He was the father. I liked it. I actually liked him in Fantastic Four. I'm one of the few people that like the 2015 Fantastic Four film. I'm one of the few that like it. And everybody hates it though, but I'm one of the few that liked it. So, but I liked him in that film. And he was also starring the Netflix of Marvel's Luke Cage. He plays Luke Cage's father, which that show got now canceled, but he played Luke Cage's father in that. So, yeah, another. So I know if I recognize him though, but he's not well known to me. But that's why I put in the video though. But yeah, so from The Mask, Fantastic Four, and then starring in Luke Cage. Next is I just mentioned this guy's name when I've my review of Mandy, which I love that movie. Is Johan Johansson. He's the guy who did the music for Mandy, but he did the music for Theory of Everything, Arrival. If you're referring to the one Arrival with Charlie Sheen, that I do enjoy that film. Sicario, Prisoners, and Mother, the one with Jennifer Lawrence. But the last film he did was for Mandy, so died on February 9th, same day as Reggie Cathy. So, but yeah, I enjoyed his score in Mandy. Really wonderfully beautiful, wonderful score. I enjoyed most of everything out of it, from Nicolas Cage's performance, the villain, the visual look of the movie, the action, and especially the score as well. So he did a great job with the score. So may rest in peace on that. So Johan Johansson, at the age of 48, that's young, too young. If I ever remember that was like the same age when Curly died from the Three Stooges. That was the same age, you know, so young. Um, Another one, a director this time, died on February 23rd, which is Lewis Gilbert. He's directed some of the James Bond films, like The Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, You Only Live Twice. Age of 97. That's he almost lived. That director almost lived 100. Next, move into March 3rd. David Ogden Steers. He's done voice acting for Disney. Which he voiced Cogsworth from Beauty and the Beast. I reviewed Beauty and the Beast: The Enchanted Christmas. He came back to voice Cogsworth. And also for he was a voice in Pocahontas as Governor Ratcliffe, and also for Lilo and Stitch. He was Jumba, the scientist that created Stitch. Jumba. He was still the voice him in the movie as well as the TV show. So, yeah. So he's from Cogsworth to Jumba. And he died on March 3rd at the age of 75. Yeah. Well. So no much in March. No one I know of that in March. So moving to April. Yeah, the first one, the most well known that I know of is April 15th, R.I.P. Ermey. Yep. R.I.P. Ermey, Army drill sergeant, and then turned actor, famous for playing Hartman in Full Metal Jacket. That's everything you asked about earlier. That's always gonna be the movie he's always be most famous for. You just do private. Well, what we got here from comedian Private Joker, or we used to do Private Cowboy. Santa, 5'9", 5'9". I didn't know the stack shit that high. Holy dog, Shelly, steers from Greer's coming from Texas, Private Cowboy, and you don't look like a steer to me, so that pretty much narrows it down. Yeah, especially as a memorable, his memorable iconic voice as well. So yeah, from Full Metal Jacket as Hartman. Of course, he would voice one of the toy soldiers in Toy Story. He was one of the little army toys as well. Of course, from Seven, Willard. I forgot to mention Willard when I did his video. He was in Willard, and of course, the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Sheriff Hoyt, as well as the beginning. So, but R.I.P. Ermey uses memorable, and he died at the age of 74. May he rest in peace, Miss R.I.P. Ermey. Moving on, no more else. Moving into May. Probably nobody would know this, but I just know the name by one thing. But May 21st, Clint Walker at the age of 90. He was part of the Dirty Dozen, but I mostly remember him because he voiced Nick Nitro in Small Soldiers. When I did the review, I mentioned that he recently died back then when I did the video of Small Soldiers. Yeah, he was part of the Dirty Dozen because the Small Soldier is the voice of the Commandos, were members of the Dirty Dozen. So, and Clint Walker was one of them. So he voiced Nick Nitro. Yeah. Surrender, Gorgonite ally. You just met your match. So Clint Walker died at the May 21st, the age of 90. Man. I'm moving to June. Da, 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 da. Oh, June 29th, Derek O'Connor at the age of 77. He two films that I know of that he was in. Well, first of all, I did my first commentary. I think I had mentioned this on Deep Rising. He was the captain in Deep Rising, and he was also in Daredevil. He was the priest as well, and it looks like he was also in Lethal Weapon 2. And I think he was also the guy in End of Days as well. He was the crazed guy that they have him locked up, but then the devil played by Gabriel Byrne, he had him hung up on the ceiling. So yeah, I think that was also Derek O'Connor as well. But Daredevil and Deep Rise is mostly I know the guy mostly from. So yeah, so on June 29th, at the age of 77. So. And then now in July, no nobody I know up in July. And then moving to August. No, I know of in August either. Yeah, because there hasn't been too many people that I know of that from this year. So, but we'll go to September 6th, Burt Reynolds. From many movies, from Smokey and the Bandit, The Longest Yard, Cannonball Run, The End, so many movies for Burt Reynolds, in which he was supposed to star in Quentin Tarantino's new movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but he never got a chance to film anything, so his role was given to Bruce Dern, so that sucked. So his last film would have been Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but he never got to film anything, so now Bruce Dern got to play his character. So yeah, Burt Reynolds. He's been a memorable actor for so many years. Like I said, Smokey and the Bandit, Cannonball Run, in comedies like The End, or I forget if it was Sharky's Machine. I think it was. Yeah, Sharky's Machine, and of course, so The Longest Run, the original and the remake with Adam Sandler, and Boogie Nights. I think he was nominated for a Golden Globe for that, or an Oscar for his role in Boogie Nights. So yeah, Burt Reynolds. That's another well-known actor. So at the age of 82, man. Other than that, now October. No, November. Of course, the most memorable of all. November 12th, Stan Lee. That's to me that's gonna be the most famous one of past couple of years, because Stan Lee, we all know. I mentioned before, Stan Lee, creative genius, legend, Marvel, one of the creators of Marvel, from creating so many characters we all know and love over the years, all of his cameo appearances in the Marvel movies. But I remember his role in his appearance in Kevin Smith's Mallrats, and I mentioned The Ambulance. We all know, but we all know about Stan Lee. It was just that's the biggest loss this year. Stan Lee at the age of 96. Yeah, no, 95. Man, he almost lived to freaking 100. God. And just that's the biggest loss this year. Lost one of the most legendary of all time. Man, Marvel's just with him gone. Marvel's never going to be the same without him. So yeah, Stan Lee, rest in peace, man. Stan the man. I don't know. I'm familiar as a screenwriter and producer. On November 25th, Gloria Katz was working with George Lucas, with American Graffiti, Indiana Jones, and of course Howard the Duck as well. And then the next day, November 26th, Steven Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob, at the age of 57, and Gloria Katz passed away at the age of 76, but Steven Hillenburg at the age of 57 from ALS. There was, I mentioned ALS. Steven Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob, just, like I mentioned before, it doesn't seem like my first, 20, by next year, SpongeBob will be 20, man. It makes me feel so old since I first started watching it back in 1999 when it first premiered on Nickelodeon. God. And Steven Hillenburg, man. Who would have thought? It's just, that one was totally unexpected to me as well, but who would have thought the creator of SpongeBob would just all of a sudden just pass away at the young age of 57, man. Steven Hillenburg, rest in peace. And it's just creating such one of the most iconic cartoon characters of all time. Especially now, it's considered it is now the longest running show on, and it still is going on Nickelodeon. Then moving into December. Quickly on this one, a director, December 3rd, Geoff Murphy, directed films like he directed Young Guns 2, which I like the first one, but I didn't care for the second one. So, but yeah, he directed Young Guns 2, but I didn't care for that sequel though. But he will go to direct Free Jack with Emilio Estevez. I like Free Jack, but he's directed one of my all-time favorite action films, the sequel, Under Siege 2: Dark Territory. One of my all-time favorite action films. My favorite Seagal film. I love Under Siege 2 to death. It's one of my all-time favorite action films. It has to be one of my all-time favorites. I remember I don't know what action film I watched the most with me, especially me and my brother, you know. Yeah, so the director of Under Siege 2: Dark Territory. So that's December 3rd at the age of 80. And no one knows, but I haven't mentioned Penny Marshall. Gary Marshall's sister. Starring from Laverne and Shirley. Also a director as well. I mentioned the video. She directed Awakenings, Big, The Preacher's Wife, Renaissance Man, A League of Their Own. But I said starring in Laverne and Shirley. And also mentioned that little appearance in Hocus Pocus. Also starring along with her brother Gary Marshall as well. At the age of 75. And the last one I would say now is recently on December 20th. Donald Moffat at the age of 87. You know, he's the only actor. This guy. The only film I know him in is because he was in John Carpenter's The Thing. Sorry, in John Carpenter's The Thing, where he played the character Gary. Which we the funny line towards the end of the movie when they were doing the blood test, and afterwards he was the only one allowed to be tested, and he was like, but since we proved he was human, he was like, I know you gentlemen have been through a lot, but when you find the time, I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch. Yeah, that's Donald Moffat right there. That's Gary. So that's the only film that I know that I've seen him in. So, but I guess he was also in Clear and Present Danger as well. But that's the film I recognize him from being John Carpenter's The Thing. So, Yeah. So that's about it. So of this year's actors memoriam, as well as a couple of directors, and as well. So rest in peace to everyone who I mentioned, especially Stan Lee, the biggest loss of this year. So rest in peace to everyone that I mentioned. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned on the next video. Later.